Welcome to Picks and Bones. I'm your host, Eric. This week I sat down with Adam Larson from Adam Larson and Company. They're an Americana, almost red dirt, Texas country band out of Oregon. Their melodies can haunt you, inspire you, and get you going. And I hope you guys enjoy this interview as much as I did doing it. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the independent podcast network I'm involved with, Civilized Creatures. This week, The Bear Cave is our creature feature of the week, so make sure to go out and check that out and check him out. John McInnes is the podfather himself. You guys will love his show. The new episode, he's getting ready to launch the first episode in the next couple of days, so make sure to check that out. Also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Bidet, putting the green and clean, folks. Follow the link in the show notes. You'll use Bones as your discount code. You'll receive 10% off. So, that being said, we got the bills paid. Let's go ahead and get into this. Hope you enjoy the show. Adam Larson from Adam Larson and Company. So, guys, make a big, warm welcome for Adam. And I'll throw it over to you, buddy.
Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing?
Doing great, man. Glad to have you on, and all the way from Oregon. Love that we're being able to get this spread out across the country.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your music?
As you said, I'm in Oregon, but I'm originally from Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, and so I kind of have that Midwest, kind of the old Western style, I guess you'd say, like the old soul kind of telling stories and sitting around a campfire, and
which is great. I love that. Yeah. I love that old storytelling like that. And you're right. Your songs tell stories. For anybody that hasn't listened to it, I was just telling him how much one of his songs kind of haunts me. So, I'll throw it back at you. Kind of tell everybody where, I can't really you can't really define a specific genre that you fit in, really.
Oh, well, it's funny. I've had a bunch of people tell me we're gothic country.
Gothic country, man, that is a new term I've not heard. I love that.
That was new to me too. But classic country, the Americana, that kind of folk scene that skirts the edges. Country. So just kind of a broad spectrum. Because if you pin down one sound, then what's the point? It's fun to explore and bring new things in. So.
It kind of reminds me of the old classification of it's country and Western.
Yeah.
Because your music does have that Western feel to it. I mean, it's not the, Texas Marty Robbins, aspect of things, but you're in that same kind of vein, though, with how your storytelling is and your sound. You have a unique sound. I mean, you're not just the cookie cutter country. You're damn sure not pop country. But you kind of fit, you've got that red dirt soul to you, which, I know that's a big, vein that's coming in right now is red dirt. And especially for red dirt country and everything. But I think you're that with more of that Western cowboy music, if you will.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which has deep, deep roots.
Yeah.
And I love it. How did you get started in music?
Man, it was 2010. I never played a guitar. I never sang a note in my life. Never wrote a song, but I got hurt at work.
Okay.
And so I was working, kind of moving boxes for a company, and I got hurt, back injury, and they told me to go home and watch a bunch of movies and just relax. And I was working 13, 14-hour days, and I said, I can't watch movies. I got to do something else. So I bought a guitar. I started going to open mics, and I got hooked. I got hooked right away, and I started playing music, writing songs while sitting in the audience, and then I'd go play them while they're fresh in my head.
I love it.
Oh, man. It was a blast. And then I met a bunch of friends through that I still have contact with, and you probably know one of the guys, Junior Ramey. He's a local guy down here. That
he is,
man.
and actually, I've reached out to him, and we're actually trying to coordinate getting him on the show. Which, you know, he's a whole nother unique aspect of things. I mean, he really is his own genre, if you will. Yeah. But I dig him. I mean, he's great, and I love what you guys are actually doing up there. I mean, that you're. Go ahead, because I know we'd had a side conversation weeks ago about how small the scene is there. Yeah, and it's true, and it's a lot harder to break from over here because the towns are so far apart. You can play tons of dive bars all across the Northwest, but if you want to hit big cities and do that thing, you got to go to the East Coast where country music is true and everyone's coming out to see those shows, where over here it's hit and miss, and it's a little more difficult to kind of make yourself known. But well, it sounds like you guys need to plan a trip out here to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Or we need to bring a bunch of the East Coast out to Oregon to hear you. I think my wife would be down for that.
You got room on the couch?
Yeah, come on, man. We'll make room. We've got a spare bedroom.
Yeah.
Bring it on. We got couches.
All right.
Yeah, so with your current setup with, you know, Adam Larson and company, is this your first full band, or did you actually venture out into another venture before that?
Oh man, I started out in a bluegrass band, and we were called the Grange Hall Drifters, and then the Grange Hall came after us. So we had to change our name. And we turned into the Lonesome Valley Rounders. And honestly, we just started the bluegrass band because we were 4 guys getting together drinking, and our girlfriends didn't like that. So we started playing music.
Been there, done that. Even with bluegrass.
It took off, and we had a blast. But then it just kind of, people started getting professional careers and supporting other aspects. And we still got together and played music, but this side project started kind of taking off, and it was awesome. Like, I grabbed the bass player now, who's my drummer. So yeah,
that's still rhythm section. I mean, rhythm is rhythm.
Well, he's learning the drums, and he's killing it for us. So I mean, he's awesome.
When who were some of your influences coming up?
Oh man, Don Williams. Massive Don Williams, Johnny Cash,
so you're
Tom
speaking
Petty.
My language.
Even into Tom Petty, John Lee Hooker, like that kind of bluesy rock kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Nilsson for his like awkward, just off the cuff songs that he had, and all those old outlaw guys too. My grandpa and I used to listen to Charlie Pride all the time, and Willie Nelson, man.
Love all those guys. And I love the fact that Don Williams was the first one you brought up. I've been a lifelong Don Williams fan.
Man.
That guy had one of the richest voices ever. And, you know, I talked to a lot of different artists. We end up having side conversations. And that was one of Don Williams was one that comes up with anybody that does anything in a country vein.
Yeah.
One of us either brings up Don Williams or Keith Whitley or somebody like that. And you can't really cover things like that. You can't make any kind of changes because you can't fix perfection, really.
Agreed.
And, you know, and so many people try and fail, but, you know, that's one of those ones you argue aren't.
And the depth that an artist can bring to their own songs, to recreate that is like impossible. Like Johnny Cash's "Hurt," when he redid that one, man, I will never, and I don't ever want to hear a cover of that because it will forever be in my head, that version.
Yeah,
and it's just it's done. It's perfect in my opinion. There's certain songs that are like that, and man.
And see, now I would love for somebody to do a mashup of the original "Hurt" with 9 Inch Nails with the Johnny Cash one. I've threatened to do that at a karaoke night one night. Just, you get one too many shots of tequila in you, and you're like, you know what? I need to find somebody that'll sing one part of this, and I'll sing the other one, and we're going to get up there, and we're going to just mash up Hurt. Like doing the Trent Reznor version to the Johnny Cash music, which, hey, I think there's something there.
Oh, I'd watch, but I don't know if I'd really take it as my next favorite. But
well, I wouldn't expect you to either. I mean, it would be either really great or really horrible. Now, do you do any covers?
I do a few covers. I really didn't get into covers because I didn't know how to play the guitar very well to begin with. So if
That's
I wrote
fair.
my own song, I could play it however I wanted to.
Yeah, you could make it up as you go.
Yeah.
Now, do you take that side spin to try to make it sound like Adam Larson versus, a cover? Because I know everybody tries to put, I know we've talked about the Don Williams and these classics.
Yeah.
You really can't put a spin on that. But some of the newer ones, you can put a little spin on to kind of make it yours.
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
Honestly, as a band, we've been doing musically, we try to be original, but I don't try to tailor my voice to fit whoever it was that was singing it, whether it's Tom Petty or Johnny Cash or whoever. If that's what just comes out, it comes out. But we usually try to stick pretty close to what it is, but add a little bit.
Okay.
As far as, and this is Adam Larson singing that song, not Adam Larson trying to sing that person with the company behind him. So we add a little bit.
I know you said, when you first started that you would sit out in an audience and you're writing a song, firing off a song while you're waiting to get up on stage for open mic. What is your approach for songwriting? Now that you've got a few years under your belt now, what's your approach?
Man, I write down anything that sticks out in my head, just a little line. And then I got a notebook full of all these little lines. And if I sit down to write a song,
sun rose on a lone oak tree, rope swinging in the breeze. People gather round to watch old lonesome me. Said we hang you in the morning for the things that you've done. Well, if you ain't guilty, why'd you run? I ran to the arms of my Savior as I looked for them streets of Galilee. And I know that I pulled that trigger, but that ain't the man I wanna be.
with the intent of writing a song, I'll start opening that book up and whoa, and then think about that line and tailor it and work around it. And then if I get stuck, I just keep going. I'll move to the next line that I've written down and try to write a different song. And eventually something will come of all of them. So it kind of slowly builds songs, I guess. But
Okay.
sometimes they just fall out.
So you're definitely words first and then add your
yeah.
music. Okay.
Yeah. And that's something cool with the band is we work out the song based off lyrically and kind of a rough melody. And then we build off of that. And what if we did this? What if we did that? So it's a collaborative effort to kind of make the sound happen, which is pretty awesome.
That was going to be my next question. Do you try to go ahead and come up with a melody, or do you try to fit the chorus and then build everything else around that? Which, you kind of will answer that for me.
Yeah.
So no, and that's great. Cause I mean, I think so many, and I'm hearing more artists actually say that they get their lyric inspiration first, and then they'll tailor the music to whatever mood they were in when they started writing that song.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're doing that, that allows you to actually, you know, from a writer's standpoint, that allows you to actually, you've got that story in front of you. Now you just want to set that tune to whatever that story is going to be. Is this going to be a melancholy? I'm going to be sad and you know, I need to go have another drink, or, you know, do you want to get up and dance a little jig, or do you just sit back and go, you know what, somebody gets it?
Yeah.
Because, you know, that covers so many things, like your song Trigger. I will bring that up because I know we've brought that, and that's the one that kind of sticks in my head. I mean, for the last week and a half, honestly, I lay down to go to bed. I'm reading, you know, I read before I go to sleep, and that song's playing in my head, and I'm just like, man, come on. I'm like, I don't want to pick another one, but I'm like, you know, there's another one that I should be listening to. But that's, my mind goes to it every night. I can't explain it. It's just because of the melody, and because, you know, of, you know, the timing in that, and you kind of take people to church with that song, even though that's not what that's about.
Yeah.
But you're taking people to church with that song, which, you know, it'll definitely get played into here, for sure. I mean, is there some favorite venues you have around your area?
Oh man, we've got a few places. I mean, Wild Hair is also another bar. I've never played there, but they've got some great acts. Hi-Fi, which is close to us, it's down in Eugene. That's where guys like Whitey Morgan play through there all the time, and that's where like Cody Jinks started opening up for him through that area. And man, it's a cool little Americana spot / like that fringe country venue. That's probably my favorite one.
And I've heard of both of those for sure. And you know, since you brought up Whitey, the interview that's going out this week on Friday with Jennifer Westwood and Dylan Dunbar. Dylan was one of Whitey's original guitarists when he first built the band. He was one of the original 78s. So, you know, it's like everything ties back into one another, and every person, it seems like this in the music industry, there's some way to connect, you know, that, you know, 7 levels or degrees of Kevin Bacon, if you will, but from the musical aspect of it, 7 degrees of Whitey Morgan and Cody Jinks.
Yeah.
So had you had any kind of musical background before you got into all this?
Oh, I could play a mean record. That was about it, man. Hey. I couldn't play the drums to save my life. I was in a punk band, but you know, I didn't play very well, so I fit in perfectly.
Well, for punk, you don't have to.
But other than that, I tried to play the guitar for years. I never could, and then finally, I just had a bunch of time and a desire to do it, and I took off with it.
That's awesome. For one of you, can you kind of describe one of your shows?
One of our shows?
Yeah.
High energy. We try to be high energy songs, and we sometimes throw a curveball with maybe a slow song right in the middle. And I mean, we got a lead guitar player, Colin, who has kind of more of the punk / rock / going into the country feel. The bass player that's learning the bass, but he just does exactly what he needs to be doing. He doesn't overdo it. The drummer's the same way. It's open spaces and high energy, where we're not trying to fill every void at every moment of a show. We've got kind of openness to the songs and the melodies, and it's more of I'd say old country rock and roll kind of a show.
Okay, well, what do you want your audience to take away from it?
I want them to go tell other people and bring them out the next time. And I love jumping off the stage and running out and meeting everybody, and honestly just making that personal connection too afterwards. And a lot of the times people say, we don't have enough of this around here. And so whatever it is that we're doing, whether it's just that kind of classic countryside or that young guys playing high energy, having fun, looking like a bunch of guys hanging out together on stage, and whatever it is, we just keep doing it, and people keep telling us that they need more of it over here. So maybe North Carolina and South Carolina need to come over here.
Right? Hey, I know a lot of guys that would love to come out that way and play that haven't had the opportunity yet. You guys need a taste of Justin Clyde Williams. I'll tell you that. Yeah. He can bring a whole different aspect to the way of thinking and everything. He would be a great one for out there.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I agree. I agree.
And I think people that live here don't appreciate that as much. How rich the music we actually have here, and it takes talking to somebody that's not from here, that's doing that same kind of thing, or you guys are trying to do that same kind of thing. You know, I think that makes those of us here kind of step back and go, you know what? We need to appreciate what we've got a little more, instead of, you know, everybody being like, oh yeah, it's just another one of these bands around here.
Yeah.
So I can definitely get behind that. So you want to tell everybody who actually, let me rephrase this, back up a little bit. I'm trying to chew on my own tongue. You want to tell everybody who the band is?
Oh yeah. So we've got on bass, we have a guy named Phil Hansen, and it's kind of his first band, really, being in a band. And his first couple shows were in front of quite a few people, I'd say, and got the nerves out right away and got hooked on it. And then the drummer is Patrick Ward, and I've been in bands with him. He's been playing music since he was 12 years old, and I used to see him when I was a kid playing music, and he went from frontman to bass player to drummer. Okay.
That's a transition.
Phenomenal songwriter, just great guy. Been friends with the guy forever. And then on lead guitar, we got Colin McHill, which is another great guy, friend. Like, it's a big family, what we are. We're basically a family band. Yeah. And he plays lead guitar. He's been in punk bands that have toured, metal bands that have toured, country bands. It's quite the collection of guys.
It sounds like. I like it though. I like that's bringing in a whole lot of different genres and everything, which I love that aspect of things. I was trying to think. There was something else I was wanting to ask you, and I just absolutely drew a blank. Which, good thing I'll edit this before it goes out. Where all can people find your music? That's an important one. I know I found you on Spotify. Yeah. Which I know that can be a nasty word.
Spotify is awesome, and also kind of a little bit of a curse. Okay. I mean, it's great you get your name out there and everything, but it's also awesome when people buy an album. And so we have albums on our website that we're starting to relaunch, which is adamlarsonco.com. You can follow us on Instagram, which is also another way. Just personal message me. We've been doing a lot of sales that way. iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, like you mentioned, Amazon Music, pretty much everywhere online you can get music. And we have a new single coming out on August 4th, so that's pretty exciting.
I'm looking forward to hearing that.
The first ones.
Yeah, because actually this show will be going live. I want to say I was looking. I'm like, man, I've got people booked out through September already. At least for Friday releases and whatnot. Let's see. Not to have to kill too much time here. Yeah, man, I'm losing my mind. Let's see, we've got. Helps if I get to the right part of a calendar, huh? Yeah, yours will be the 23rd, going live. Sweet. So that'll be kicking off my birthday weekend. So hell, I'm looking forward to that. But I'm really looking forward to hearing the new single, because, like I said, when I first had reached out to you, I dig your sound. I love the sound that the band gets, and your voice, because your voice it's got that cash richness to it.
I appreciate it, man.
And I think that's because I grew up listening to Johnny Cash, and my family always had that, and Elvis, and Motown. I mean, we were exposed to everything, and classical. But when I hear somebody that has some of that Cash intonation and richness in their voice, it stays with me. And maybe that's why your songs haunt me like they do. That's a great thing. I mean, there's no fault in that. And like I said, anybody that slows down long enough, I'm like, listen, I talk to a lot of bands, and I talk to a lot of artists and whatnot across the country, but one, you're the furthest out we've gotten so far.
All right.
But there's you're onto something. You guys have something. You have that X factor that people need to hear you, because you've got a hell of a lot of potential and where you guys could go with this.
Oh man, I appreciate that. It means a lot.
And I tell everybody, I said, if I listen to music, I can hear music, and then if you hear a song or a musician and you get goosebumps from it, I know this is one of those, I listen to your stuff, and it doesn't matter how many times I've listened to it, I still get the goosebumps from it, because I'm like, this is just something else. This is good stuff. So I appreciate you putting this kind of music out there.
Oh man, I appreciate for you having this kind of a show to get artists like myself and all the guys you've had so far, and the ones you're going to have in the future out there in front of people, because this is a great thing. That's when I reached out to you, and I was like, this is an awesome thing you're doing.
Well, hey, if there's any other bands in your area that you're friends with, hey, give them my name and contact info, and I would be more than happy to help promote you guys out there as well as I do anybody around here. And like I said, it doesn't matter what genre it is, because of the simple fact that, I've had, the show this week, she's Americana, but she's blues. And when you hear her, it's another one of those ones you're going to get goosebumps, and she will take your ass to church.
Yeah,
for sure. And when she gets down deep in herself singing, you would swear that you were listening to Janice.
That's awesome.
And you will love her. Everybody that gets the opportunity to listen to her will love her. And just like, that's why I went ahead and included you guys on the new Spotify list that I've put out. Anybody that's coming on the show or has been on the show thus far, I'm doing a very curated playlist so everybody can get out there, because I want them to come listen and learn about who you are. But the bigger thing is, if they hear your music, they're going to really want to get to know who you guys are. And it's just, that's my way. I've been around music my whole life, playing, singing. I was a front man for a lot of years. Then I did the family thing. So this is my way to still stay relevant in the thing, but I can help other people coming up, because I know where there's talent and where there's not. And if somebody's great, I want the world to know how great they are, because, that's what this is for. This is to help promote you guys, that, to let other people that may not get an opportunity to hear you. Well, we're going to dive into my bare bones if you're up for it.
I'm ready.
All right. What's your death row meal?
Oh, man. Meatloaf and chocolate chip cookies, I think.
Really? Okay. Man, that is one of the best answers I've had so far. I've had steak and baked potato more times than I can count. But meatloaf and chocolate chip cookies, maybe not together, but there's something to be said for that. And one of the other best ones was a bushel of blue crabs.
Oh, man.
Okay. Chicken wings, drums, flats, dry rub, or sauced?
Wings, dry rub.
And you just like them all.
Yeah.
My man. Okay. See, that's how I am. I just bring me some wings, and I actually like half and half. I'll get, half dry, half, sauced. A song or a band that you are kind of stuck on right now that you can't hear enough of?
Brett Cobb, man. I think, yeah, right?
Great,
right?
Yeah. Great guy.
I always get his name wrong. It's Brent
Cobb, yeah.
I always want to say one or the other. Man, I can't get enough of that. Sunshine on a Rainy Day. Woo.
Have you listened to Ian No?
No.
Check him out. He's another singer-songwriter, but he's got that unique sound. But yeah, no, I dig where you're going with Cobb, and I hear that there's a lot of people that are saying that's the guy you need to be watching out for, because he's gonna be just blowing it up.
Yeah.
What is your all-time favorite book?
Man, Old Man in the Sea.
Wow. Okay, good choice. Going classic. Okay, what was the first concert you ever went to?
Leon Russell. Man, I just thought about that.
Hell yeah. Leon Russell. That's a hell of a first show to ever go to. That set a whole new level for every band after that you saw.
Yeah.
For sure. What was the first record you ever bought that you can remember you buying or picking out?
Styx Greatest Hits.
Man, you were all over the place. I love this. Styx Greatest Hits. Okay. I saw them in concert back in the early spring. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
See, I knew I liked you. Okay, do you have a personal mantra or philosophy? And I'm not talking anything real too heavy, but is there that one phrase that, you kind of live by? Everybody has one.
Yeah. Honestly, I love people. I love being around people. I love interacting with people. Just love. Like, just love things, love life, love.
Okay. No, that's completely fair enough. What's the one song, doesn't matter how many times it comes across your playlist, your radio, or, even if you're sitting at home and the record's just playing and it, hit repeat, what's the one song that always gets turned up?
Redheaded Stranger.
Okay. Man, I like this. You're giving some great answers, man. God, you're an old soul, man, for sure. Okay, an artist, living or dead, that you wish you could take the stage with one time.
Man, I'm gonna say it'd be Johnny Cash, honestly.
All right, it's another good one. Now this is one that gives you an opportunity to shed some light on some of your local guys or anybody like that. Who besides yourself should people be checking out and listening to?
Junior Ramey, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Honestly, the songwriting that guy has, amazing. Honestly, just beautiful songs, and then he can take you into a barbecue in the back on a boat with Tyler Hatley. Like, the guy's
facts
all over the place. Yeah, the guy's all over the place. Like, and man, there's just a bunch of guys that I wish I would have prepared for this one, because I feel like I'm on stage accepting an award.
Everybody you got to thank. Well, now, I mean, we can transition into your shout outs and everything, because I'm not going to try to keep you too long. But, we are going to go into shout outs. I told you towards the first part of September, where can people come catch you and everything?
Yeah. We're having a few shows the end of August, or the beginning of August. On August 4th, we're playing the Oregon Jamboree. We've got some company parties coming up. We've booked for a possible show on the 8th of August, playing a show with Junior Amy on the 9th of August.
Awesome.
Just rolling through a few of them through there, and another company party. And then we've got closing out in, I believe, November, we're playing a veterans benefit for veterans, and a lot of fun stuff coming up, and I'm sure we'll fit more into it the further out we get. So,
I'm positive that's going to happen. So, with all that being said, is there any shout outs you want to give for the ones that you can remember? Or at least
shout out to I've been saving this for you. So, Trigger was written by myself and my wife.
Okay.
And I wake up thankful every day that I haven't been murdered. Because it's a murder song.
Well, I mean, I know it is.
No, she's awesome.
Maybe that's why I like it so much, because it reminds me of my wife.
Oh man, and she's awesome. We'll sit down and what do you think of this? And what if you try this? So it's really cool. So big shout out to my wife for being supportive, encouraging, and she's our booking manager right now and our merch manager. So
that's awesome.
She's killing it for us. She puts up with 4 guys and tells us all what to do, and we listen, and we are very respectful. So she puts up with a lot, and she takes on a lot, which is really great.
We all need those. We all need those good wives like that, because I know my wife is my biggest supporter, and she will tell me when I'm being an ass too, and tell me when I'm just completely wrong. And then there are some nights I sleep with one eye open. But that's just that's the nature of love.
Yeah.
Any other shout outs?
Man, what's funny is one of the biggest fans we have. It's pretty awesome. Our biggest fan and one of our biggest supporters is the pastor of our church. He comes to every show. He's up front. He's singing along to every word of the songs, and that guy, man, Mike Miller, that guy deserves a round of applause, because he is taking time out of his busy schedule to come out and watch us play and support us and encourage us, and it's awesome.
That is awesome. See, now you got Jesus on your side too.
But yeah, we've got a huge fan base out here that they put our stuff on the internet. They know who they are just by me saying this. And I thank you guys for all that support and all that encouragement out there.
That's awesome.
We couldn't be here without you guys, as it is, honestly. Without fans, without people listening, without people showing up to our shows, without listening to your podcast, we couldn't do it without people like them.
No, none of us could. And honestly, the more we all work together, the more everybody has the opportunity to succeed. And that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And I may be old school in my way of thinking, but I think not that I'm calling musicians a village, but I'm calling musicians a village. And it takes everybody that you can to everybody to raise them and lift them up.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
But saying all that, I want to thank you for your music. I want to thank you for coming on the show, giving me the opportunity to talk with you and everything. And the only thing I would ask is when this kicks off, share it everywhere you can, and let's all get the word out, because the further we can get the reach out, the more fans you have the opportunity to get. And I call that a win for all of us there.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you again for having me. And
you're very, very welcome.
I look forward to when it comes out, and I look forward to the next artist that you have on here. And
I'm looking forward to your single coming out on the 4th.
Well, I'll send you a sneak peek, maybe.
Okay, I would love that. I will be at the beach. That would be nothing better than to get a sneak peek of that while I'm sitting out there in paradise for a little bit. Adam Larson, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. keep staying out there doing what you do, because it's some good stuff. And that being said,
Oh, thank you so much.
this is Picks and Bones. You guys keep listening, keep rocking, and I appreciate each and every one of you.